We are Columbia's hottest podcast, and we have Brian Harbison today, who's the owner of Alpha Male Men's Clinic and BioHAKD Longevity Lounge. And we talk all things men health. We talk about testosterone, we talk about peptides, we talk about erections and penis pumps and all kinds of different things on here. So if you have kids listening in the car, this probably isn't the show for you. But if you're interested in men's health or you want to hear all about what it's been like for him to open this and help tons of men across the Midlands, then this one's for you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Here for the Health of It. I am Dr. Randy here with Dr. Tom, as always, and we are Columbia's hottest podcast, and we have a great guest today. We have Brian Harbison, who's the owner of Alpha Male Men's Clinic and BioHAKD Longevity Lounge, which is just brand new open in June of 2026. Serial entrepreneur.
Correct.
So thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
So we were talking before, you've been a PA, graduated in 1999 from MUSC Charleston, went into family practice, and you're kind of in private practice for quite a while. And then 8 years ago, you decided you were going to open up this Alpha Male Men's Clinic.
Correct.
All right, walk us through that, and how did you come up with the name?
Polling a bunch of friends and looking around, trying to come up with something a little bit original. Since then, I've seen one in Myrtle Beach that's similar name, but a little bit different. It's not easy coming up with a business name.
It's hard.
It's really hard. But I just, to start the business, slowly started becoming a little disenfranchised with the sick care model of medicine. See a patient for 7 minutes, write a prescription to treat symptoms that, I started learning more about functional medicine, trying to figure out root causes. And so slowly just started losing interest in the old way of doing things, dealing with insurance companies, and decided to start something different. The Alpha Male Men's Clinic.
Just bring it down a little. Yeah, there we go.
The men's clinic is mainly TRT. I would say mainly we do some erectile dysfunction treatments, some medical weight loss, and different things, but I also have incorporated some functional medicine into that as well.
Yeah. And then when you were a PA, were you ever just handing out prescriptions that you were like, I hate this now? Or was there a specific one that you just you were like, this sucks every time you're giving it to the person?
Absolutely. For a long time, the big push for statins for cholesterol, and, it baffled me. I'd get letters from insurance companies saying, that your patient has cholesterol of 201, they need to be on a statin.
No way.
I fought against it tooth and nail. I would send them letters back and say, I've talked to the patient, they refused to take a statin, and I would educate the patients as well. So,
and it seems like the numbers on cholesterol for statins just kept getting lower and lower and lower over time too. So then, of course, there's going to be more people that are on it.
Right.
And it's insane that insurance companies are sending PAs and doctors letters telling them what to do.
Yeah.
Well, and statins created erectile dysfunction.
Absolutely. I mean cholesterol is very important for a certain part, function of your hormones, and a lot of side effects. They absolutely lower the number on paper, but when you look at the data, it really doesn't save lives.
No.
And it's just not worth it in most cases.
That's one of those tricky stats that a lot of people don't understand, where they would say it cuts heart disease by 50%.
Right.
But then when you look into the stats, it would be there was 100 people in each group, or in one group, 3 people had a heart attack.
Right.
In the statin group, 2 people had a heart attack. Well, that's a 50% decrease, but it almost just could be chance.
Exactly.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
So, all right, and then walk us through this. What did it look like for your first few days? You opened up, you launched, you said, all right, you have low testosterone, come see us.
Yeah, that was a little interesting. I actually opened it up, and I worked there during the afternoons while I was still working family practice in the mornings, and kind of kept that a secret, actually, because you don't want to ruffle any feathers. People thinking you're about to leave them. So I'd go sit there in the afternoons. I think maybe I saw one patient the first day, and I still remember him to this day, 8 years later. He's still a patient.
Yeah.
Second day, maybe 1 or 2 patients, and just slowly, very slowly started taking off. We really didn't spend much money advertising or anything. We just kind of, a little social media and stuff, but it's just slowly gotten better every month, every year.
Yeah. Good for you.
Welcome to Columbia Family Chiropractic, voted Columbia's best chiropractic clinic. With 3 easy-to-get-to locations, you'll be sure to have something near you. We provide drug-free and surgery-free healthcare and take care of a wide variety of injuries. We offer several services from corrective chiropractic care, on-site digital x-rays, spinal decompression for bulging or herniated discs, dry needling and cupping for injuries, pediatric care, non-surgical knee therapy, and a Class 4 laser. And for those focused on wellness, we have a red light therapy bed. We accept all your major insurances. If you click on this ad, you'll get a discount on your first appointment. You can check out our website at cfc4health.com, or you can Google Columbia Family Chiropractic. That's cfc4health.com.
And then when you look at testosterone, so that first guy that you were looking at, or maybe let's not use him because he might know who he is, but somebody who's looking at the testosterone levels, I see the normal ranges, and then I hear of people who have a really low range but don't notice it, and then some people who have a really low range and they're fatigued and tired and no drive and putting on weight. How do you approach that?
Yeah, absolutely. We, I like to treat symptoms more than numbers. We're all different. What a number that might make you feel great might make me feel bad. So we get all kinds of numbers in there, and the lab reference ranges are all different. Some of them are lower and higher, and but I like to listen to the patient and treat their symptoms more than the number. Now, obviously, if they had a really ridiculously high number, I would say, hey, let's look elsewhere for this. It's probably not your testosterone, but I definitely try to treat the patient and not just treat them based off the lab number.
Yep. And then if somebody had no symptoms, but they just wanted to be healthy, because this is what I always kind of run into, where I want to go places and do things, but then they're like, do you have symptoms? And I'm like, I don't have symptoms, but I just want to know what else I could be doing.
Yeah. More getting back to the functional medicine side, I definitely try to, do everything you can naturally without taking testosterone. It's nothing wrong with taking it if you need it, but if you could get away without it, obviously that's better. Yeah. You don't have to take something for the rest of your life. I try to optimize every area of life, their stress, their sleep, their diet, exercise, everything.
Yep.
And try to get there that route if I can.
Brazil nuts.
That's right.
Do you think that helps?
Two a day.
Is that true?
I don't know that it's going to boost your testosterone a whole lot. It'll help you with, selenium levels and a couple of things. But honestly, there's not anything that I'm aware of that will significantly boost testosterone. Now, you can make some very modest benefits with diet, extreme, heavy lifting, things like that, getting good sleep, not drinking, stuff like that. But you can make modest benefits that way, but there's no miracle, raise you 400 points by doing that.
Like 100 points, though, you can do.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Love that. What, so once you start testosterone, is it one of those things that the people have to stay up with? Like, is there a maintenance?
I tell everybody your testosterone level is here. And if we take it here, we can keep it there as long as you want. But if we quit, you're probably going back here again, okay? Or on the trajectory you were on, because as you get older, we're all heading downwards after around the age of 30. So it's not a life sentence. I've had people that come in and they have a goal. They say, I want to burn 20 pounds of fat and gain 20 pounds of muscle. Yeah. And they'll go on it for 6 to 8 months, and they'll go off of it, and they're fine. They were fine when they walked in there. They'll do okay when they
nice.
Will their ball size return to normal?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, are you doing pre-checks and post-checks of the balls?
I just take their word for it.
That's what I've always wondered that because I always hear that your balls get smaller,
They will atrophy a little bit.
but I never heard whether they get bigger when you stop.
If you go off your body, as long as you didn't abuse it. If you were, doing ridiculous things like bodybuilders do, sometimes they screw up their endocrine system so much it doesn't know what to do when they're done with it. But if you keep things at normal levels, or at high normal levels, usually the body will recover right back to where it was, and slowly you'll regain what you lost
Your
there.
girth, your ball girth.
Yeah. And honestly, I've yet to have a man come in and say, I really like my big nuts. I want to keep them.
Usually they're a problem. You want them to be a little smaller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you know any what are some good men's health stats that people might not be aware of? I think you mentioned testosterone starts to dip at age 30. Is there a certain amount it does per year? Or?
Yeah, it drops. The old numbers used to be 1% to 2% a year, but men's testosterone levels are down 50% from where they were 50 years ago.
No shit.
50%. I'm 57. I really expected to be seeing guys my age walking in the door all the time.
Right.
By far, our most common decade of life is 30s. I see guys in their 30s
Really?
coming in. Wow. Yes, and it's the world we live in. It's the plastics, the chemicals, the hormones. Just we don't live in the world our grandpas lived in. Mm-hmm. So sperm counts have dropped 50% or more in the last 50 years. So,
I'm potent. I know that.
Well, I was 20-something years ago.
So on your website, I saw that it says "Look better, feel better, love better." Tell me about that.
Yeah, the look better, obviously, depending on what people do with testosterone. I tell people there's no miracle in this building.
Right.
You can inject testosterone for the next 10 years and you're
Sit
not going
around.
to change unless you're trying to change. But if you're trying to gain muscle, it's going to help you. If you're trying to burn fat, it will help you. And I always do the quotations when I talk to them. I say it will help you. So look better. We've had some people make dramatic transformations with it and what it does for them, the motivation, it can change you mentally,
Right.
motivate people to get back in the gym and do things. Feel better. I mean, I think everybody feels better if they have a low testosterone and you take it up to the high end of the normal range. Pretty much they all feel better. Love better. Certainly, it certainly will increase libido. I tell everybody it's not the end-all be-all when it comes to erections. I get people come in and they think, oh, I've got erectile dysfunction. I just need testosterone.
Right.
Well, it's not that easy. Unfortunately, it's a very complicated process. You got the blood flow, the neurological, always becomes psychological. Gets in their head.
I knew we were going to start talking about erections sooner or later, but it
One of
happened
my
really
favorite.
fast. So if somebody is measuring their erections,
Oh God.
what do you recommend? Like, how do they know?
Start at the stem. Do you go underneath the shaft?
Well, not length. No, I didn't necessarily mean length.
Physically.
Just like in
what
general.
Do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, have you seen Brian Johnson, how he measures his nighttime erection levels?
I have
and
not.
okay, so he's one of those biohacker
Yeah.
guys that he's
Yeah.
putting millions of dollars a year into himself, and he measures everything every day.
Okay.
And he said that he's measuring his nighttime erections.
Okay.
And at like 20 to 30 years old, you should spend 4 hours
length
with
of
an
time.
erection per night while you're
Okay.
sleeping.
Wow.
And then as you get older and
All right.
and your cardiovascular system gets worse, your fitness gets worse, your testosterone lowers, you have less and less time at night with that.
Right.
But I've never heard of anybody else measuring it in any other way other than him in one interview.
Randy videotapes himself to see. He's got cameras in his pants that he just. There's a little stopwatch afterwards.
I need to get the link to that for my patient.
How is he measuring it? Does he talk about that?
I
Just
can't
an
remember.
observer?
He did. No, I think no. He was wearing something around it that it was, I think my understanding is it was kind of like a rubber band that if it expanded, it like turned on the measurement time. And then when it decreased, then it turned off the measuring time.
Yeah, urologists used to use something kind of like postage stamps. You'd wrap it around before you go to bed, and if you woke up and it had broke, you knew you had a nocturnal erection.
Oh, nice.
I'm sure that's come a long way since then.
But you haven't tried any of that stuff with your patients?
Not personally.
No. So pretty much it's just them coming to you saying, hey, it's hard to get it up.
Yeah.
And then usually when they're saying that, are they saying like, I never can? What are the phases? Like phase 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, the phases, they're not as strong as they used to be.
Oh, that's a good line.
That's the first one. I tell everybody, again, I'm 57, and a lot of guys come in. I'm like, look, none of us are what we used to be. The wind could blow, and you get an erection when you were younger. And now it takes more.
That's the worst. Stand up in middle school.
You gotta wear sweatpants.
Yeah, you get called to the board, and you're like, I'll take a 0. Yeah. So that's the first thing. People notice they're not, as strong as they used to be. And then, you get the guy who does okay, but might lose an erection during sex. And then you get to the point to where guys just can't get an erection or an erection firm enough for penetration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the percentages of people who come with different levels?
I would say a large percentage say not as good as they used to be. A very large percentage, unless it's you guys and that real young guys still losing erection during sex and not being able to get an erection. Probably 30 to 40% of men that are complaining of the problem have that problem. The problem is once it gets in your head, it becomes a hormonal problem. Then your body releases. Of course, the wife says, "Hey, honey, let's go to the bedroom." Then, if your first thought is, "Oh gosh, I hope I can get it up," you've sabotaged yourself.
Right.
So then your body releases adrenaline and cortisol, and we don't get erections when we're under stress. And I have a drawer in my desk, and I always pull it out, and I pull out a little knife, and I say, if I pull this knife on you, you're not going to get an erection. You're either going to run or you're going to fight me.
Right.
And
that's a great analogy. Actually, you physically pull out a knife on them.
I physically do it. No, we're 6 feet apart.
You got to escalate that to like a shotgun.
You're not getting hard near. What? We're children. You know that? Like I was worried about this episode. All right. First consultation. Well, do you have women that work with you?
I have a full-time office manager, and I got a nurse that comes in as well.
What's the level of comfort for guys coming in? Like, are they comfortable sharing? Like you mentioned, I like the line. What would you say? I'm not as strong.
Yeah.
What are some other good lines that guys can use, or that you've heard that feels right, that they're not embarrassed?
Other lines,
Or do most guys just say like, Brian, I need something?
Yeah. A lot of times they come in and they're kind of tap dancing around the issue. I'm like, okay, tell me. I said, nobody's what they used to be. Are you having problems? And they'll finally admit it. A lot of times they're embarrassed, and I tell them, if you're 40% of your buddies are having issues. If you're 50% of your buddies are having issues, but we don't go around bragging about it.
Yeah.
Is that the percentages? 40% of guys in their 40s?
It follows the decade. So
Really?
60% of 60-year-olds are having issues. Now that could be a major issue or just minor issues. So the older we get, the harder it gets to maintain. And to answer your question, my office manager, I hired her before I opened, and I kind of thought, I just need you, and I told her this, I just need you to answer the phones.
Yeah.
And she has done so many things there, and men tell her things they won't tell me. It's amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she makes them feel really comfortable, and they will have conversations with her and admit things to her about their sex lives that they don't tell me.
Interesting.
It's pretty amazing.
Like what?
Yeah,
Can you give us a couple examples?
I mean, we've had, of course, men will come in and talk about their pornography addiction or whatever, and they don't tell me that.
Really?
They tell her that. And, when I get their chart to see them, I see her notes that she may have seen them at the front desk, or they may have called to make the appointment, and I read through her notes, and there's things in there that they won't tell me.
Really?
And, so, that, or, I've got a couple of swingers, that,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they don't tell me a word about it. It's funny that they would tell her. You would think it'd be the opposite.
Yeah.
But pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So she's really good with them, and she does so much more than answer the phones now. It's amazing. We always laugh about it.
And she's not shy. She kind of knew what she was getting into.
Yeah, she's a talker. Yeah, she knew exactly what she was getting into.
Yep.
She married?
She was. Her husband died 2 or 3 years ago.
Dang.
Yeah. So she's been the perfect employee. Her son's grown. She doesn't have anybody at home.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a boyfriend yet, thank goodness. And
She's looking for one at the Alpha Male
I know.
post-treatment.
Well, it's funny sometimes when a patient leaves and I know it, probably somebody she's not interested in. I'll say, Beverly, he's single. And she's like, oh, thanks.
Yep.
And she loves her job, so that's great. She hadn't missed a day in 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I would imagine there's a chunk of guys who are maybe in their 60s or 70s who get remarried to somebody younger, and now they have all this pressure that they didn't have before they got married.
See that frequently.
Yeah.
You see a guy who may be getting ready to go through a divorce, and he's like, oh, I got to get my act together. Or, even the older men. I've had men come in and say, my wife had cancer for 3 years. She passed away, and now I have a girlfriend, and I can't get it up,
Yeah.
Because it's just like your bicep. It's a use it or lose it organ.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And biceps are important too.
Yeah, you got to train. Are you giving people training regimens for their penis?
it's funny. Beverly does
Beverly
that.
does?
Really?
What's her recommendation?
Oh my
so that
gosh,
people...
she will. We do some different procedures. We have a shockwave machine that does
Yes.
the acoustic shockwave,
Yep.
and then we utilize penis pumps, and we do PRP injections
Right into it.
into it.
Where does it go head, or do you go stem?
It's actually 5 shots. You do two shots on each side in the
Holy
corpus
cow.
cavernosum, and then you do one literally right in the rim of the glands of the penis, and you do that, and it's like an inner tube on a bike. It goes all the way around. It plumps it up.
It's got to hurt so
Yeah.
bad.
Do you numb it a
I
little?
do numb it. I do what's called a dorsal penile nerve block, like they should do on kids when they do a
Circumcised.
circumcision. Not
Yeah.
all doctors use that. They say, oh, the kid's not going to bother him, but I've seen them,
Holy
and
shit.
it looks pretty darn painful.
You've watched circumcisions?
Yeah, back in school, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not for fun.
No, not on YouTube.
I didn't know. I didn't know that. It seemed like an area that I didn't even think about before.
All right, day one. Let's just go normal intake just so everybody gets the process. They show up. Tell us about the waiting room. Do you have any magazines? What kind of paperwork?
Yeah, usually when I see a patient, they've already made contact. I like to order labs before I ever see them.
Nice.
That way we have something to talk about when we're sitting there. So they've already gotten their lab work done. I schedule 1-hour appointments. People are shy sometimes.
Yeah.
They don't want 3 guys sitting in the waiting room when they walk out.
Right,
So
yeah.
I schedule hour-long appointments and try not to have a lot of overlap in
That's
patients.
a good point.
Yeah.
You probably want almost like a secret.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we first opened, a guy'd walk in, we'd look out in the parking lot, and his car wasn't there, and then
He walks.
when he leaves, I go around and he parked at Denny's next door, because he didn't want anybody to see him.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It doesn't seem to happen that way anymore, but it did definitely in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you meet with them, you review lab work.
yeah,
And then are there typically treatments same day, or it kind of depends on the
yeah.
case?
If they have low T and the symptoms of low T, and they're interested in treatment, I go over everything. I go over their health history, answer all of their questions, answer all of my questions, and then probably 99% of our guys do injections. I usually take them across the hall, and we do their first one there in the office that day, and I do it for them just to show them how easy it is. And,
Yep.
and almost every patient is shocked. We use real small needles, but I just do it real quick. And
Yep.
most of the time they're like, wow, I barely even
Where
felt
do you
that.
put it? Is that
You can go almost anywhere with the little short needle. My favorite spot's the buttocks.
yeah?
Some guys will do their thighs or their arms, but I think the buttocks is probably by far the most common spot. It's less sensitive, a big, nice muscular area.
Yeah, nice.
Is there anywhere weird that someone's done it?
I had actually a friend of mine that's a bodybuilder, and he told me, he had quit bodybuilding and now his testosterone's naturally low, so he's back on it. And he told me he used to inject all kind. He would inject his legs, his
Between the
his
toes,
arms,
I've heard.
under here. He didn't
Like just
mention
to
that. Yeah, I think that's heroin.
Yeah.
Just to hide it.
Several guys do their stomach, but I would say between the thigh and the buttocks is the most common spot.
Yeah. I want to go back to the exercises. What kind of exercises is somebody being given?
The guys that come in for the erectile dysfunction, if we're doing the acoustic shockwave therapy on them, we give them a penis pump regimen. Okay, and the penis pump is, been used for years. But this is inflate, let it go. That it's kind of like doing bicep curls. That you're working it
Right.
Multiple times to do that. Beverly will tell them, go home and have sex today. Right after their treatment, and they're like, it's
Doc's
not that
orders.
easy.
Yeah.
Not that easy. And then she said, well, you need to masturbate then.
Yeah.
I mean, she
She just tells them.
yeah.
So is a pump? I picture it like one of those bicycle pumps.
Is it hard to use, or they have electronic ones where you press a button?
Yeah, it's
You press a button.
there are some like you're talking about that have a hand pump on
Yeah.
them, but the ones we use is a little battery or rechargeable operated, and it's got a little LCD screen on it, so you can monitor the pressure. But you just push it, and it sucks pressure into there and engorges,
Yeah.
and then you you stop it and let the pressure out, and then pump it up again, let it out. Yeah.
Are they hard or soft when they're doing it?
Well, you start out soft usually,
And then by the end of it?
yeah, with the
Try
negative pressure, it fully engorges.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the lowest score you've seen come in
Oh man.
that you recall?
Good question.
And
I
was his
have
name
had-
Brandy?
Due to HIPAA laws, I can't tell you that.
Initials RK, but I can't.
I actually had a young guy come in, and he was very young, and his total testosterone was like 18.
Whoa.
And we're talking on a scale of like
What?
250 to 1,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and he had been to an endocrinologist, did all kinds of workup on him to try to figure out why, and that they couldn't find anything other than he just wasn't producing.
Dang.
Wow.
Physically, what was his body very like soft and
Yeah,
or did he on the outside did he just look
he was very thin, and couldn't gain muscle to save his life.
Right.
He kind of looked low T. Sometimes people
Yeah.
have a look.
Yeah, my friend Ryan lives in Idaho. We call him he's the poster boy for low T. So I know exactly what he is. And then what's the highest number you've seen where you're like, holy shit?
Naturally or on
Well, give me
testosterone?
natural and on
Okay.
testosterone. I'm curious
Naturally,
about both.
I had a fellow come in probably in the last 2 weeks, and he's in the Army at Fort Jackson, and he was having all kinds of problems. Some of them symptoms of low T. He brought his wife with him, and I looked at his numbers, and we checked several numbers, and I can tell if you're on testosterone by
Right.
looking at your luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating
So
hormone.
there's no
If
lie,
that's-
yeah.
If that's low, I know you're taking. Right, but his total testosterone was like 1,100 and something, and he was in his 30s.
Wow.
And I told him, I said, you are way better than almost everybody that walks in this door. And his wife said, see, I told you. She didn't think he had low T, but it very, very rare to see somebody
That,
up
yeah.
close to 1,000. Very, very rare. That's not taking testosterone. Taking testosterone, our lab, the max it will measure is 4,500, and I've had guys come in that were bodybuilders, and and I don't treat bodybuilders.
Right.
This guy was he was getting ready to stop bodybuilding and wanted us to help him kind of try to get his endocrine system restarted.
Yeah.
And our lab says greater than 4,500 on total T. So, could have been 4,501, might have been 6,000. No telling.
Cow.
I guess that's why those guys don't live long.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious about that side of it too. Like, so if someone, so say 873 in your 40s, at what point would a person, at what rate would you drop? 10% per decade? Is that right?
Probably.
Yeah. So if somebody's healthy and doing all the things that they should, they're working out, all that stuff, they might be 5% versus somebody who's not working out might be 15%.
Correct.
Is that accurate?
Correct.
Yeah. And then if somebody's, let's say, in their 70s and it just isn't doing well, because this is what I've always thought for myself, is like I don't really know if there's a biological free lunch anywhere, which you kind of alluded to. Like there's anytime you do something, there's going to be something later. So if you can hold off a little bit, that might be a benefit, but maybe not, because you got to have quality of life too. But in your 70s or 80s or 90s, I think it would be a no-brainer. Like if I was 87,
Right.
even if I was still sitting mid 800, I would be like, I'm just gonna blast it to 4,000.
Do some drugs.
I think, like, why wouldn't you? You're 88 years old, and you just all of a sudden you're just like excited and shredded, and what's the worst that's gonna happen?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good
Is
question.
that weird? Do you have any 80 something or 90 year olds coming in?
I don't think I have anybody in their 80s and definitely not 90s. I don't think I have anybody in their 80s. Definitely have some in their 70s.
70s?
Yeah.
So like if an 87-year-old came in, because I've been thinking about this just for people who just aren't doing as well as they could in their late 80s, what would it look like for them?
If their testosterone was low and they were complaining of symptoms, I would gladly treat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had men come in that, talked about all their muscle loss and that's, muscle mass and strength is one of our biggest indicators of longevity. So as men and women age and they lose muscle, they start becoming unsteady and they fall and break hips and
100%.
fall and all that stuff. So it's great for bone health, good for muscle health, mental health. Yeah, I wouldn't be against it at all. There's really no reason not to take testosterone if you need it. There's no harm to your health at all, unless maybe you blast it to 4,000.
Is there is there studies, because I'm seeing this kind of in the peptide world too, where everybody's saying like if it's bioidentical, you can do it and it's not going to affect you. But it just doesn't seem like it follows the laws that it should, where if you're putting something synthetic into your body, it doesn't have a negative effect at some point.
Yeah. Not a lot of documented negative effects of it, really.
Yeah.
It's not. And, it's kind of considered a bioidentical because it's structurally what's in our body, but it is synthetic. They've created it in the lab. So, I don't see any negative side effects from men taking it.
Hey friends, we all know life is busy. You don't have the time to spend half the day at the dealership. McDaniel's now offers Yes to Go in under 60 minutes. You can even start online from home. When you arrive, your wheels are already in motion. Work your deal your way with paperless digital documents. It's full transparency right from the start with no pressure. A couple of signatures and go.
Yes, that easy.
The quick convenience of Yes to Go. It's more of the McDaniel's difference.
And do you know any guys who have been doing it for 60 years or 70 years?
No, I don't.
What's the
How
longest?
old would they be? They
Well,
started
like
when
let's
they
say
were 10?
if you start when you're like 30,
30, yeah.
and you've been doing it until you're in your 80s.
I know a few guys been doing it for 40 plus years.
Really?
Yeah.
And they're still loving it?
Yeah.
They just have to increase their dosage every once in a while?
No, not necessarily.
Same dosage?
Yeah, usually once you get it kind of dialed in, it kind of
Stays there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
How's their chest hair, shoulder hair, and that kind of? Do you get anything weird there?
Yeah, you can cause some excess hair growth certainly, and hair loss. That's not what happened to me. Unfortunately, my mom's dad happened to me. But if you get too high levels of DHT, that causes hair loss.
Yep.
Hair gain, you can certainly, if you do a decent amount of it, cause hair, hairy back, stuff like that.
Dude, that's what
Chicks are into
testosterone. Yeah, testosterone takes your hair off your head and puts it on the rest of your body, mainly on your ears, but a little bit on your back.
Yeah, it's a curse.
All right, so we hit that. How is it marketing to men? Like, would you say you guys mostly market to men, which would make sense as a men's clinic, but it almost feels like the women are the ones that get the men to do anything. Like men are a tough
Oh yeah.
sell, I guess,
Absolutely.
unless they have.
Yes, it frequently happens that a wife will call for her husband and say, "Hey, I need to get my husband in there."
Get some info,
And it's a men thing. We don't want to admit we have problems. We're not going to
Right.
tell anybody else we have problems.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the wife or girlfriend will force them.
Do they come with him? Like, is that a common thing where you're seeing the wife or
I'd say
girlfriend?
15-20% of the time, maybe.
Yeah, good amount.
Yeah.
And then are you looking at the penis on the first visit?
I don't.
You don't. Okay.
Or the second.
It's really only if you have to do an injection in that spot.
Correct.
That would be the
Yeah.
only situation.
Yes.
Okay. And then you train the guys for testosterone. They do it themselves after the.
I do. We have a few guys that come into the office once a week, and it might be the guy that it's just on his way to work or something, and he's afraid to do it on his own. We kind of discourage that though, but I would say most guys do their own. They may have their wife, girlfriend, somebody else do it for them, but I would say 99% of our guys don't do it. They don't come to our office and do that for sure.
Do you think wasn't there a stat recently we were talking about where it's a crazy amount of percentage of men aren't having sex at all, or like the numbers are so minimal? Does that lower like somebody who's having more sex? I'm guessing would have higher or keep their levels up, like as a body.
Yeah, I think it does. It does some moderately. Again, modestly, definitely.
Versus like say those same guys, because that's what it feels like. This generation just like in their basement playing with themselves.
Oh yeah.
Versus
I mean, you can see. I mean, I went to a conference and they showed a group of men, in the Vietnam era, and then they showed a group of men today.
Yeah.
Same age,
Yeah.
50 years later, and you can see the difference. So lifestyle is part of that 50% drop, I'm sure.
yeah.
Definitely.
Youngest person you've treated?
18.
That's probably as early as you can go, right? You wouldn't go younger.
No. And the 18-year-old was the one with the very low, and his mom brought him there for that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And some women I'm hearing are doing testosterone.
Women definitely, women need a little bit of testosterone. We need a lot.
Yeah.
But that little bit they need is very, very important. And a lot of women are low too. you know.
Really?
So you give them a tiny bit, and it'll change. It'll change a lot of things for them.
Yeah.
For sure.
Is there certain ethnicities that you've seen like have higher testosterone or less issues?
No.
I'm also curious about like, is there more straight men or gay men that you're seeing that are like willing
Yeah.
to go in?
It seems to be more straight men.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Now sometimes people don't come in and advertise their sexuality.
Right.
And if the gaydar doesn't go off, we don't know.
Yeah.
But some.
Yep.
And then what about peptides? Let's talk about that. Are you doing that in your new BioHAKD longevity lounge?
We are. We're doing peptide. I've been doing peptides at Alpha Male for 8 years now.
Really?
Yeah, it's the hot topic on Instagram now, and all the kids
Everywhere.
Yeah, my daughter sends me a text. Hey, can you get me this? Like it's new or something.
Right.
But it's just all over social media now. They've been around a long time, but so we do peptides in both clinics.
Wolverine stacks.
Yeah.
And what
Love
up?
that one.
That's TB500,
Yeah,
BPC 157,
yeah.
and Retta. Is that right?
That's not the Wolverine. Yeah. Or the original Wolverine was just
the two of those.
BPC
Okay,
157, TB500.
Yep.
There's a few other now. The Glow has those two, and GHKCU.
Yep. And can you speak to those a little bit? I always think like there's scenarios where it's probably way better than a drug. Like if somebody asked me, is BPC 157 or a steroid shot better for you? The BPC 157 is going to be way more natural than a steroid shot.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, a corticosteroid injection in the joint will do wonders for you for the first few days, but it's destructive to the joint.
Yes,
Not
it
necessarily-
causes arthritis,
not
wears
good,
off.
Not good long term. Yeah, I think they're definitely healthier, you know, and I think they would be way more mainstream if it wasn't for Big Pharma trying to squash their competition, you know.
Really?
Oh yeah.
And are people abusing it? I hear of people buying them in compounding pharmacies in China and having to pay in Bitcoin and then just hoping that it shows up at their house.
Really? There's definitely a black market for it. So I mean, people buying it all over the place. A friend of mine texted me the other day, and she said her 15-year-old son ordered some retatrutide online, and it showed up. And
Holy cow.
And she was furious with him. She asked me what I should do, and I said, well, don't let him take it. But, you know, it could be good. It might be counterfeit. You know, it might be trash.
Well, a
No telling.
15-year-old taking it probably isn't great
no,
either.
he shouldn't be taking it, period. But, you never know what you're going to get when you order something online.
Yeah. How would you rate them all?
The GLPs they certainly have their place. I mean, they've changed a lot of lives. You know, a lot of good data coming out on them. Nothing is without side effects. So, had some complications with some of them, but I've been prescribing those even in family practice, the semaglutide, for several years. You know, when we were treating diabetes with it.
Yep.
So those are good. I love the Wolverine stack, BPC 157, TB 500. Everybody's different. You know, I've gotten wonderful results with it, and then some people, you know, they're like, yeah, I think it's helping a little bit. So I don't advertise that there's a miracle cure for anybody. You know, I personally had a ACL reconstruction on my left knee 8 years ago and didn't take it. And then I had my right knee done 2 years ago, and maybe it helped. Maybe it was that, I don't know, but my recovery was dramatically better with the right knee.
8 years older too.
Yeah. So, you know, I tell all my patients, I can't say it was just the peptide.
Yeah.
It may have been, it may not, might have been part of that, might have been better surgery, whatever, but it made a big difference with me, and I've seen it make a big difference in a lot of patients.
Yeah.
We use some of the human growth hormone peptides, testosterone, ipamorelin / CJC 1295 or sermorelin.
Okay.
Those are good. Kind of a subtle, you know, it'll boost your human growth hormone level, which also drops as we age. But
What's a normal level for human growth hormone?
I don't have a specific lab, you know, because you can't just order a human growth hormone level.
Okay.
There's a couple labs that mimic that, but I don't have a specific normal range for that.
Okay. What would you look for?
Again, on that one is specifically symptoms.
Symptoms?
Yeah.
So, and then how would you decide if they should get testosterone or human growth hormone?
If their testosterone is low, I compare their symptoms, because the symptoms are a little bit different, but I tell them you're probably going to get a better bang for your buck boosting the testosterone.
Yep.
If their testosterone's pretty good, I tell them maybe you go the other direction. And some people will do both, but I never like to start two things at once. It's, you know, I don't love that, because, you know,
You don't know what's
if 6 months from now you feel great, you know, could it have been just one and you're wasting your money on the other, or if you have a side effect, you know, which one is it? So.
And so with HGH, what would be symptoms that you would look at for HGH?
Losing muscle mass is a big one. You know, the actual synthetic human growth hormone is kind of the fountain of youth. I mean, a lot of the actors and people in Hollywood have been using it for years. But muscle waste is a big one, and that's one of the indications for actual taking HGH. Yeah, it's indicated for muscle wasting in AIDS patients, and which
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
AIDS patients are giving HGH.
Yeah, and AIDS is not nearly as common as it used to be. I think it's almost nobody dies from that anymore with all the medicines they have, but that is one of the indications for that.
Nice. So tell the audience, I guess, just about the services. So at Alpha Male, what would be the services that you provide there? And then I want to hop over to BioHAKD and talk about that too.
Yeah, Alpha Male, like I said, the vast majority is TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. We deal with peptides. We do some of the medical weight loss stuff, counseling on diet, exercise, that sort of thing. And of course, erectile dysfunction treatments.
Shockwave and
Shockwave. There are obviously prescription medications, and then there are compounded medications, and there are shots that they do themselves. That cause erections. So,
okay,
is it Cialis? Well, there's a blue pill. Right? There's
Viagra,
and then there's Cialis.
Yeah, blue pill has always been Viagra.
Okay,
and none of them are blue anymore. Or the generics now, they're pretty much all.
Is it all the same thing?
Not exactly. Actually, Viagra is a fast-acting medicine. It works pretty quickly, but you get a lot more side effects with that, and it doesn't work nearly as long. Cialis is more of a slow onset, works for up to 36 hours, a lot less side effects.
Mm-hmm. It was originally a blood pressure medication, I think, right? Cialis.
Yeah.
And then all these guys started coming back saying, hey, there's this other side effect,
Yes.
which is actually kind of awesome.
Yes. Yeah, and they used to be super expensive. Now they're, pennies per pill. It's ridiculous how cheap they are now compared to $30 a pill years ago. And, a lot of men are using the Cialis for a pre-workout.
Really?
Low dose.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
Just to, it dilates arteries, so it gets them a better pump in the gym.
Better pump in the wiener. All right, how about services at BioHAKD?
BioHAKD, we're just now opening. It's called BioHAKD Longevity Lounge. So we're using different modalities. Like I said, I got more into functional medicine, trying to treat root causes, and we're most of the things we do there is treating inflammation, and you guys know in your profession, inflammation is kind of the root of all disease processes. And so we have a hyperbaric chamber, infrared sauna, cold plunge, red light therapy, PEMF mat, massage, IV fluids.
That's great. When location of both of these, are these?
Alpha Male is in West Columbia, directly across I-26 from Lexington Hospital.
Okay,
It's right on the interstate there and Sunset Boulevard. BioHAKD is on North Lake Drive. It's kind of in Irmo area. If you're heading from Lexington to Chapin across the dam, you'll pass right by it. It's in a public shopping center, Murray Landing.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly where that is.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. And then,
you want to talk about this after.
Yeah, let's talk. Well, I want to talk about your fitness routine. What do you what else are you doing for your own health regimen?
My wife and I just dropped our gym membership. We worked out at the gym. We just moved into the new house, and we're trying to do more stuff at home now. We've got a big room over the garage that we kind of turned into our fitness area. So nothing extreme. Just some dumbbells and bench press
moving
and
some heavy weights,
squats and stuff. No, not really heavy. I'm too old for that. But just trying to stay toned and in shape. But
are you checking your own numbers pretty regularly, like monthly testosterone checks?
no, not monthly.
Weekly.
Probably twice a year.
Twice a year. And what happens if you see it changing? You're okay with a little bit, and then do you go see someone else, or do you just do it all whatever you need yourself?
I have a doctor that works with me that will treat each other if we need
Oh,
to.
that's nice.
Nice,
Cool.
You have kids?
I do. Grown children. I have a 26-year-old son. He was a Gamecock. He's an Air Force pilot now.
Sweet.
My daughter defected to Clemson. She just graduated from Clemson, but she's staying to get her master's degree in finance.
Nice.
And I have a stepson, went to the Citadel. So
Do you talk to your boys about any of this stuff? Or is that
unfortunately, my stepson introduces me to his friends as a dick doctor. Yeah. So it's more of a joke with them. But, you know, they're that age.
Yeah.
It's not going to be funny one day.
Right. Exactly.
All right, let's talk about this
The new house.
new house of yours, this new custom build. So RB Gallup from Gallup Design Build is one of the sponsors. He builds custom homes for all the most successful families in the Midlands. And you are the second person in a month that we've had who had a custom home built by RB, which we didn't plan that, but that's awesome.
Wow.
So tell us a little bit about what it was like working with him.
Well, I tell you, we just built our 4th house on Lake Murray.
Yep.
The first 3 houses was with the same builder, and he did a great job. And we had started seeing Gallup on social media, and then we went and met him at his house. He had just moved into a new house.
Okay.
And then we went to a showcase home they had in Lexington. They were getting ready to sell this house, and I mean, I walked in and I'm like, oh, we got to use this guy.
This is it.
And we met him. He's awesome. I mean, you guys know him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we have been thrilled. We moved in three and a half weeks ago, and we thought our last builder was good. I mean, he knocked it out of the park.
Wow.
That's pretty
Everything.
sweet. So you used the same builder 3 times and then switched.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
That's-
And I would consider RB and I to be good friends now, and you don't see that a lot after the end of a building project.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anything strange in there that you decided on?
A bidet.
Oh, he got you on that.
No, I got him on that. I went and climbed a Mount Everest base camp 3 years ago, and some of the hotels we stayed in Qatar and Nepal had bidets, and I'm
You
getting
were
one
like,
of
you
these.
need-
Yes. And of course, ours is a little nicer. You know, it's got hot water and hot air and all that. It's
Oh, you got a blow dryer in there
yeah,
too?
it's amazing. Yeah, there's a little remote control on the wall, and you just hit the water and you turn it off, and you hit the air, and it dries.
Now,
you out.
let's talk about that for a minute. So you're just sitting there, cheeks spread. You don't have to do a wand or anything. It's just you press a button
Press
and
a
it hits
button.
it. No kidding.
Does it
I
have like
bet
a
it
little
was-
tracker on it?
Like Randy's bottle. No,
Can't even imagine what you're about to say.
neither one of the things that popped in my head made sense. I was like, oh, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I tell you, if you try it, you'll never go back.
That's
Really? So
My
there's
wife
zero
wants
wiping at all? Or do you still like have to finish up a little?
I still,
just a
little bit.
case. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Safety wipe.
just to check.
Yeah.
Do you start the water and then stop it when you feel like it's done, or is there just a
Yes.
preset?
Yeah, you start it and then hit the stop button.
You ever gone in there just to use the bidet?
Tom's just sitting down every time.
I have not, but I told my wife the other day I've kind of become a snob. I don't like going to the bathroom when I'm right at home.
Yeah.
Can you change how warm the water is? Because I always felt like cold water would probably suck.
There's probably a setting somewhere that I haven't looked at. Haven't read the book on it yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all right. And what else? Was there anything that your wife was like, this has to happen, or that you guys fought a little bit in front of RB about it, and eventually he was like, all right, we're taking your wife's side?
Yeah. Not really. She wanted a scullery. You know what a scullery
Yeah.
is? It's a big, like, butler's kitchen pantry thing. And
It's like a second kitchen, so your
Pretty
main
much.
kitchen doesn't get dirty or
Pretty
used.
much, yeah. We keep all of our countertop appliances and everything in there just to keep everything. She's a neat freak, so that was, and I agreed with that. But that was kind of her non-negotiable. I wanted I built a room off of our office that is my gun safe, gun ammo room.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put a vault door, looks
Yes.
like a bank vault. And
Yeah.
they make those, but she didn't like the look of that. So we ended up going with a regular door, which I'm hoping to replace with like a bookshelf door where nobody knows it's
That'd
there
be
actually.
cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I've had that on my vision board since
Yeah.
I was 21 years old.
Really?
To have a secret
Yes.
vault safe where you could just
Yeah.
go in there and all
Yeah.
your stuff's in there.
So that's future plans for that one.
That's
That's
sweet.
cool.
Did your wife work?
She's a registered nurse.
Nice.
So she did labor and delivery for almost 20 years, and then she joined a functional medicine practice for a while, and then she's going to be heading up a lot of this BioHAKD.
Awesome. And then BioHAKD, will it work like we guys sell memberships, packages? What kind of?
Both. I mean, our preference would be a membership model, which is kind of like Alpha Male is. Basically, you get started on testosterone and it's like a monthly subscription type thing, which has worked out very well. So that's the goal, is to get more memberships than anything, but we offer packages for everything we do there for non-members.
Yeah. Nice. And how did you guys meet?
Oh, the old young lady.
Your podcast is not long enough for this one. So this is both our second marriages, and me and my ex-wife went to church with her ex-husband's parents. They divorced a few years before I did, and then after I got a divorce, her ex-mother-in-law kept coming to me and saying, "You need to go out with Britain." Her name's Britain, like Great Britain.
The ex-mother-in-law was pushing the really.
Yeah. And I told her for probably 2 years, I'm like, well, if she ever comes to town, she lived in Fort Mill, so if she ever comes to town, tell her to hit me up. And finally she did. So, yeah.
Nice.
And then what?
Then he shocked his
You went on a
wiener.
date. You
He
took her
shocked
to
his wiener.
Our first date, I picked her up in my boat at their house and went to a party that my ex-wife was at. And we had an incredibly amicable divorce. But she ended up spending more time talking to my ex-wife than she
No
did
way.
me on the first date. But, my ex-wife was thrilled with the idea. But, yeah.
Really? And now what are they? Best friends?
They're not best friends, but they're good.
They
They're
hang
friends.
out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amicable. You don't see that very
I know,
often.
yeah. That's best for the kids,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, good.
right.
Is there any natural ways that you've noticed people getting their numbers up, or like that you just recommend when you do your like nutritional counseling?
There are a few things you can do. There's a couple of supplements that might free up some of your free testosterone. We focus on free. You get a total, that's the total amount in your body, and most of it gets bound up and it doesn't work. The free testosterone's the biggest one, or the only one that works for you, really. So, there's some supplements, Tonkat Ali, and a couple of different things that I recommend to people that may have a high sex hormone binding globulin that's binding up their total. Exercise, working the big muscles, heavy lifting, thighs, arms, stuff, helps some, and then other lifestyle, sleep, diet, stress.
Yeah. Drink enough water. Like, you just have to stay healthy,
Yeah.
right? Like, I feel
that's
like your body just
That's
shuts
the
down
secret.
if you don't take care of yourself.
Right. Yeah.
That's the secret,
Man,
Randall.
this was fun. And then how can we support you, or what do you want people to know? Is there a big something happening for the grand opening?
Yeah, we're doing a grand opening at the BioHAKD, ribbon cutting and grand opening. We've got a 20% off founders membership going on right now.
Okay.
So we've got 4 different membership models. 20% off of all of those.
Yeah.
Members get 10% off of massage and IVs and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And cold plunge.
Cold plunge is included in the membership. The massage and IVs are separate.
separate.
You pay for that separately, but yes.
Should Tom be cold plunging, do you think?
Absolutely.
How
I'll tell
often?
you.
How often? And for
how long?
long?
And how long you in it?
I had not cold plunged until recently, but I've had friends that were just religious about it, and they always just raved about how much better it made them feel. So we got our cold plunge in before we opened. So we just, and my wife's the most cold-natured person you've ever met in your life, and I'm shocked she's done it.
Really?
She's done it multiple times. We're only keeping it at 50 degrees right now, and many people will go much colder than that. But I tell you, you get out. It's not
You
fun
do
getting
feel-
in,
yeah.
but you get out and you feel
Just
kind of
gotta
an
go quick.
immediate. Yeah, you got to just plunge, literally plunge. You don't want to tiptoe down in and get in slow. But I've been impressed with it. I really have. How I feel afterwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's something to it. All winter long, we'll jump in our pool when it's cold.
Yeah.
But then in the summer, it's like bath
Right.
water, so you need something different.
Yeah.
But it's just so uncomfortable every single day. You
Yeah.
just don't want to do it every single day.
Yeah. It's not easy forcing yourself to do it, but you once you do it, you're glad you're glad you did.
Yeah. Do you want Tom to send you something when he does it 30 straight days?
You want me to do it? And then I didn't know. Do you want dick pics sent to your personal or to the? for our listeners.
I want you to. We have some partners at BioHAKD. I'm going to give you his email address.
We'll send
that.
it straight there.
Oh, this has been fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Here
We're here for the health of it.
for the health of it.
Just a quick note, this podcast is for informational purposes only. We're not meant to replace your doctors, and nothing here should be taken as medical advice. Always check with a qualified professional before making decisions about your health. The views and opinions expressed by our guests or hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of this podcast. Reliance on any information provided is solely at your own risk.